So now you get to learn what you should have known before. Well, it's about the hustling of the Hustlers Convention, and it's about hustling in general, and the distinction between hustling to make a living and living to make a hustle.
This is his way to get justice from the hustlers who hustled him out of his work.
Those hustlers, those politicians and those underworld gangsters and those behind the scenes, the real hustlers were ripping off billions from the unsuspecting millions who are programmed to think they can win. And when you can dig where that's coming from, then you're on the one. From there, you become aware of the two, yourself and you. Now, for you to figure out what to do with the two, you gotta see the three to see the B in you. Then you understand why you knew what you've known before on the either or square of four corners of the block between a hard place and a rock.
The guy's a poet, philosopher, an inspiration to everybody.
Hoping to escape into outer space because they want to look God in the face. Want to get to heaven on the physical plane with the devil temptation driving them insane. Trying to cover up all their plots and schemes, filling up our minds with fantasy dreams. Never could leave well enough alone. Got an eye in the sky peeping through the ozone.
It really highlights the injustice, I think, of, how a guy like Jalal can go unnoticed for such a long period of time and not really get the credit for, what he has been the main influence of, which is rap and spoken word as we now know it.
It vindicates my work. And it gives me the credit where credit is due, because I didn't get paid for it.
Rap is the biggest selling music on planet Earth today. And this is the guy who started it all, and he didn't see a penny from it.
But what I did get was I was able to enlighten certain people and give them an art form in which they could verbalize. They could get it off their chest. They could speak through this art form. And that's what rap means.
So we hope that this film will be the opportunity for Jalal to set the record straight. You've got the people in the film who people consider to be the originators of the art form, and every one of them is harkening right back to Jalal and giving it up to the Hustlers Convention.
It's about the history of the roots of rap, where it came from, and it's about a folkloric art form called toasting, which is equivalent to like the blues. But instead of just being blue, it's pink, it's yellow, it's green, it's red. You see, it's colorful. When I wrote The Hustler's Detention, which came out to be about 108 pages, I rolled it up like you roll up a newspaper sometime, and I stood it up on the table.
I remember.
You remember?
I remember that. He said, "Does my rap stand up?"
And I said, "Does my rap stand up?" And I said, and it blew my own mind, you see what I'm saying? I said, wow, my rap is standing up on its own. Go on with your bad self. So.
I agree with everything he said. Yeah, I told him so tonight.
I've kind of followed the Last Poets over the years for quite a long time now, and I just wanted to get a more in-depth understanding of the history of Hustlers Convention, really.
We're so happy I came.
Yeah, the film delivered. It was good. It was really humorous.
I'm leaving here tonight feeling energetic and positive and just honoured, really.
So we don't have time for war. We don't have time for racism. We don't have time for classism. We got to focus on food, clothing, and shelter, and good weather, whether or not. My proudest moment? Now. Gather round, young people, while I balance the scales on the roots of rap and the ancient tales. And if you don't know the roots are from the trunk of the tree, then you won't know the branch of what the fruit will be. You got to first understand the surrounding mystery of rap in relationship to so-called history. History is distorted, so it ain't all there. So let's examine the truth so we can clear the air. Now we're back in the jungles of the African lands when the roots of rap first began. Before the time of the scribe, just a word was heard, and the voice was the choice, like the song of the bird. It stood out among the people from the various tribes, wide storytelling sages who preserved the vibes. They would gather all the people who would throng around from the village and the bush and the rural town. For hours and hours and days on end, they unraveled their stories from beginning to end. They knew about the why and they knew about the then, and they were known all around as the Griot Men. From the past and the present, they related their roots, taught all the people in the ancient truths. With the wisdom of their elders and their memories past, they spoke about the legends from their ancient past, about God and man, about sky and land, about the fish in the sea and the shells in the sand, about fishing and hunting and harvesting crops, planting and herding at the watering stops, about the constellations in the heavens above, about the men and the women and the children and love.